What's up, everybody? This is Matt Kim from IGN, and we're here at BlizzCon 23 with Holly Longdale and John Hight from the Warcraft team. Hello.
Hello.
Good show so far?
Hey, absolutely, yeah.
I like going in with a nice, friendly hello. You know,
it works.
Yeah,
and we answered in unison. So it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's fun. We have fun here. But let's just dive right into it. IGN readers are super excited that we got not one, not two, but 3 World of Warcraft expansion announced all at once.
Yeah.
I'd love to learn more about the process of just being like, you know what, let's do it. Let's announce 3 expansions.
Honestly, when Chris Metzen came and returned to us and we started that process, this bubbling up of this passion around the 20th anniversary is almost upon us. It's time to change the conversation, make some big bets. Let's take World of Warcraft in a direction that we may not have imagined in the past. And you throw something like that at someone like Chris Metzen and the team, and he came back to both of us with this idea that, you've seen Chris Metzen. When he starts sharing an idea, and I'm an idea fairy. I love big ideas, so does John. And there was just no way to not get behind this idea that it's an incredible epic story and we wouldn't be doing it justice if we tried to do it in 1 expansion. And then we were talking about 2 expansions and we're like, it's still, there's a lot more room to grow this tale. And that's how it became 3. And it did start from this essence of, we want everyone to be able to enjoy World of Warcraft and really take us on a journey. And part of that too is, when we say multiple expansions, the other factor in this is we want to do them faster so that you will get this incredible tale in a way you would expect from World of Warcraft with everything you expect in an expansion. But we want to get you there with these epic moments faster. And we have some of the inside scoop. What is coming is just, it's incredible. And the team is just rallied around it. It's really exciting.
Yeah, it naturally, the story really expressed itself best in 3 parts.
Mm-hmm.
The team had already been planning on, we want to go into the center of Azeroth. We want to go under the ground, which at first we got like underground, I don't know if we want to do, that much time just digging in tunnels. And they're like, no, this is going to be expansive. We're going to have these huge caverns. And we actually play around with it in Dragonflight, just showing you can fly in a cave, so of course we can do big things inside the center of the earth, or center of Azeroth. And I think that part was already kind of in place, and Chris looked at it, it's like, okay, this is cool, we'll start from there. And then as we explore that, we uncover the machinations of Xel'Atath, and that kind of naturally led to the battle with the Void. Well, we're best to have conflict with the Void than the Sunwell, so that kind of moved naturally to the next chapter. And then finally, the thing that I think we've all been wondering about for the last 20 years is all the stuff, as Chris said, that the Titans have left behind, the weird artifacts, the mysterious voices, the apparitions that appear. And this is a culmination of that, pulling those threads together and explaining a lot of what this has all been about.
When Chris was up on stage and he announced the big reveal about the 3 expansions and the Worldsoul Saga, I got strong Kevin Feige at Comic-Con vibe when he reveals a new phase of the MCU. Do you think that's an apt comparison where he reveals not just Captain?
We actually did kind of talk about it as reference, because for us it was, we felt we needed to really establish with our players, like, yes, we are serious about this story. We have a plan for this story, and we are committed to it. But one thing I want to say, and it's important for everyone to know, that you can jump in. You don't have to start with War Within. If you, for whatever reason, you somehow miss it next year, please don't. But if you do, you can jump in, with Midnight, or you can even come in at the end and with The Last Titan. We're telling these as distinct pieces, but they all tie together in this overarching story. And we wanted players to know, we're committed. We're going to do this thing, and we'd like for them to join us on this journey.
And beneath that, when we talk about the 20th anniversary, this idea of, John mentioned threads. Part of that is we've continually moved forward. There's a lot of stories that we get to wrap up and places we get to visit and characters we get to visit with the 20th anniversary with a tale like this. This team has never planned anything this far in advance, so it's bringing a lot of detail, a lot of incredible passion into how we deliver on this 20 years of World of Warcraft and really paying homage to our past and creating a new beginning. And it's just, the team is like effervescent at this point, because we know where we're going for a good period of time, and to be able to lean into it and create the threads between, to your point, when we talk about something like, the MCU, you can see all the threads between them. And that's, in essence, we'll be building quite a bit of that as well.
Right, and that is something I'm curious about how announcing 3 interconnected expansions like this impacts development for the team.
We've been evolving in order to serve the players in this way. So it's a journey that we're on. War Within has been in development for some time. We're also already working on the next one, on Midnight, and we've grown our team to support it. And not only that, we're building the foundation of how to work with 2 expansions being created at the same time. And at the same time, we also created a live team. And that live team is filling the world in our 8-week patch cadence with the content in between that is sort of the novelty and the whimsy and the lightness of WoW that the audiences that, the expansion teams will continue to focus on, our seasons, etc. And they're filling in our holidays and turbulent time ways and more activities for players to do, so that we're crossing all of the different ways people play. So we're building this foundation for how we can have this, basically a staggered approach. Although teams are going to be helping each other along the way, because there are moments where we can. The development on WoW is very fluid and it moves back and forth, but we have a lot of really incredible resources now focused on really advanced our production methodology as well. And so we're going through this learning phase of figuring out how to do all this at the same time, because we're absolutely committed to it.
I think even just planning 3 expansions gives us a North Star for the whole team. We know what's going to be in all of these. And, in doing that, we're able to do more things in parallel than we have in the past before some things necessarily had to happen sequentially. So yeah, we've already begun concept development for, Midnight and Last Titan. We know what the look of some of these things are. We have a setting for all of them. We know what races we want to introduce there. We know what heroes we want to bring in. We have heard from our players that, bring back some of our favorite heroes. So it was.
Don't say any names.
I'm not going to. Come on. They saw Thrall in the cinematic, and so they know Thrall's there.
Okay, never mind.
And we happen to have, a voice actor that's available to do Thrall.
Right,
so
yeah.
that's good. Mitzi does Thrall.
It's Mitzi, yeah.
There's so many questions, and I'm sure you can't get into all of them, obviously, because of spoilers. But are these expansions expected to be shorter than normal expansions, or what's the deal there?
I mean, in essence, doing them faster, you would imagine that's part of it, but the content will not be less. That's part of this journey we're going on, where we have this live team. So we will have the expansion teams fully focused on expansion content that will come out in our patches, and we're staying committed to this 8-week cadence with our content. And then within that, because we're really focused on delivering what you expect in an expansion, that will continue. But between those expansions is where we're going to be looking to get pretty creative. We're not ready to talk about future features yet, but we're going to be doing some significant things in the future. So expansions at their foundation, it's always going to be landscape to explore and quests and raids and dungeons like you would expect. How we evolve this story and tell this tale in between is probably going to evolve. We're taking some risks, we're experimenting, and we're planning for, some really cool features in the future too. So I'm pretty sure players will be pretty pleased with what we come up with.
Yeah, I mean, our expansion releases in the past were very much predicated on how quickly we could get them done. And, over the course of, doing 20 years worth of expansions, we know pretty much how long it takes to do the brainstorming, how long it takes to do the world building, and then most importantly, how long it takes to be in public test, so that we can really tune it. And more things can happen in parallel. But what's different now is that because we have, great processes, we've got, a bigger team, we're able to put out content when our players want it, not just when we're ready to release it. So we can still hit that quality bar, but we can deliver it as players, are ready to consume it. And the cool thing about being in an MMO is we get a lot of data. We know when players are, okay, they're done. They want something new to do here, or you know what, they're still in there having a good time. We don't need to put this out right now.
I know the many Blizzard teams, talk about how they work independent of one another, but it really did strike me, you announced 3 expansions. The Overwatch 2 team announced not just one hero, but the next 2 heroes. Diablo 4 teased their next expansion, even though the game's only been 6 months in. Is this as developers of live games, is this radical transparency just something that the company just saw together as the way forward?
Yep, 100%. Yeah, because at the end of the day, we exist because of the communities we have, and our fans are so dedicated, as you've probably seen here at BlizzCon. They just want information. They just want to know what we're doing and what's coming. And part of that was a bit of an experiment, like for us putting out the roadmap so far ahead. And players get excited by it instead of, waiting for the next drop, which, we're experimenting, and it seems to be working as far as that goes. But I do think Blizzard overall, and certainly our team, we appreciate being more open.
As you've mentioned, the 20th anniversary of WoW is coming up. Just big milestone for Warcraft as a whole. Just in terms of the future of the Warcraft series, there's so many things now with streaming and theaters are back. Are we going to see Warcraft expand out into multimedia, into shows, into movies again? It's been 2016 since the movie came out.
Yeah, don't
but it's a great movie, right? That was one of the big reasons that we've somewhat reorganized as a Warcraft universe. So Holly's part of the leadership team for that. So not just overseeing WoW, that's her her baby, but also contributes to some of the strategic decisions that we have around where do we want to go next. And we have a full green light process for Warcraft. We take pitch ideas from across the team. We also have things that we'd like to do. Everything begins with somebody's passion around, I would like to go chase this, or I believe in this. And then we see, okay, how does that enhance Warcraft? How does that work for Warcraft? Does it make sense for us to make a game in this genre for players that play other Warcraft games? Like WoW, and we were, like you saw with Rumble. If you played Rumble, we were very sensitive to the fact that a lot of people that would be checking it out have experienced Warcraft through the RTS, through WoW, through Hearthstone, and that we're consistent with that universe. That's a big reason why, Chris is back. We wanted him to, be kind of the arbiter of this is in, this is out. Plus, he's the only person that can pronounce some of those names. But no, seriously, we start with games. We are going to expand beyond that. Our main purpose this year has been about, hey, let's get all this aligned. I mean, everything that you just saw yesterday, this is the efforts of, starting in January, like how do we make all of this come together? How do we make this big moment? How do we signal to the world that, Warcraft is a universe, 240 million strong, and we're going to grow from there. And we are going to branch into other things. But first, we wanted to have people start seeing this as not just a single game, but really a plan for the future. And when I said 3 decades, I'm not kidding. We all see this as caretakers for this universe. This is, not only your childhood, my late teenhood, and but it's going to be for your kids, and maybe for my granddaughter. And I hope, and we're going to be telling the stories that we're going to be reading to kids at night, or they're going to be streaming at night while we're asleep. But this is going to be part of the culture, and it's our goal to have this extend beyond us. And we're going to hand the baton to the next group of innovators and super creative people working on platforms that haven't even been imagined yet doing Warcraft.
Right. You know, something that Aaron said on stage that struck out to me is, you know, he said there's a new clarity of vision that he didn't have before. Is it fair to say that this is, you know, a Blizzard reboot now, or in the process of one?
I think so. I mean, I think we have moved, at least for us, I think we've moved from being very product-centric, where we think of this game, to being very player-centric. It's like, what do our players want? What are the genres that are cool to them? What are the platforms that are cool to them? How do they want to interact with each other? Because we make social games. I mean, you know, everything in WoW, we talk about this all the time, is how is this actually more social? Yeah, that's one of our platforms. Does this feature make it more social, more fun to be together, or not? You know, and that's how we distinguish ourselves.
Well, John, Holly, thank you so much for your time. And for everything else from BlizzCon 2023, keep it here on IGN.